Gavin, walk me through as best you can the three key at-bats for you. Early on, it seemed like they were trying to pick Stewie off a bunch, and that was just like long, like maybe a 10-minute battle between you and him. What was going on in that at-bat? I think he ended up getting plunked at the end, right?
Yeah, he hit me at the end. You know, he's just doing a good job. Stu's a really good runner, and he's always a third. I think he's got 18 stolen bases on the season, so you obviously have to keep him close. You know, he did a good job. He kind of got me off a rhythm by keep doing that, and I think it was strategic in the way he did it. And you know, he threw the ball well tonight, so it was a fun battle for him and I in that situation.
Was there a little bit of gamesmanship during that at bat?
Oh, I think there was. I think it got to a point, you know, he picked off about 5 times in a row, and then I called time on him. So it was a little bit of back and forth, but you know, it's a fun at bat, and two guys competing right there.
And then bases loaded with the strikeout. How bad after that were you wanting to get another shot?
I was definitely looking at the scoreboard and seeing that, you know, I thought I had one more shot in the bottom of the ninth. You know, I kept telling myself to stay in it and not get too down. Obviously, it was a big situation. I wanted to do something there, and for that strikeout there, you know, I just wanted another shot at it. And Griff did a great job of keeping us in the game there and keeping it tied. So I got another shot in the ninth. And
then I guess we'll wrap it up with you right now. What did that feel like for you, the finish here, the walk-off hit?
Oh, it was an unbelievable feeling. You know, early in the game I hit 2 balls well that were foul. So the biggest thing there, I was just thinking stay behind the ball and get in right center. And I knew I had a chance to get a fastball there, and I got the fastball and I stayed behind it. So just a really exciting game. The fans were unbelievable. The game, that's why you play college baseball right there. So that was an unbelievable night.
Your coach mentioned that using a right-hander to intentionally walk a right-handed hitter to then face a lefty is not exactly the most standard thing. I assume you've seen that a lot with Stewart hitting in front of you this year? Or?
Right. Yeah, I mean, you know, it makes sense. With one out, you want to get a guy for a double play, and you know, it made sense to do what he did, and happy it worked out the way it did, though.
Griffin, the West Virginia guys were saying that slider is as good as they've seen all year. I mean, was that as good as you feel like your feel was for that pitch?
Yeah, it's kind of the pitch I had going for me tonight. Didn't have my fastball in the first inning, so I had to find something that worked, and that's kind of what I went to. Stayed with it and didn't kind of give in at all. I knew they were sitting slider, but it's relentless with it. You just got to keep doing it and trusting it, but next time I got to have my fastball. I mean, you can't just rely on one pitch every time.
Having anything about the celebration that stood out to you, the way your teammates mobbed you? Or?
That was my first walk-off ever. So, you know, to be a part of that, and it was just an unbelievable feeling, and just a great way to top off a great night. So to have one more chance tomorrow, and you know, to either get Maryland or West Virginia, 2 really good teams, so it's gonna be fun. It was a lot of fun.
Ever? Is that as long back as this?
Yes.
Never in your life?
Never in my life have I hit a walk-off, so great time to do it.
You know, Gavin talked about the atmosphere for any of you guys. Really, it seemed like a particularly intense atmosphere. Was that the most intense atmosphere you guys have played in?
Yeah, for me, no doubt. You know, that's what you play for. You want to play in games like this, and having our home crowd, but also having some West Virginia fans here made it fun. So, kind of going back and forth with them was a really cool thing.
Absolutely. I think for me, last year, in comparison to this year, our fans have really come out to show this year, and they come to life and they actually get involved in the game. And today was another one of those nights where we had both parties kind of getting in the game, and it's really fun. Makes the game fun and really kind of pushes everybody to play well.
Other questions for the student athletes?
Parker, what adjustments did you make after that first inning? What was going through your mind and during that first inning? What did you do differently to put together the outing you did?
Yeah, I just didn't locate very well in that first inning with my fastball, and the guy jumped me out of the yard on an 0-0 pitch that wasn't a very good pitch. So I just need to come out better in the first inning going forward, because in the past month or so it hasn't been as good as I'd like it to be. So, but you know, I had to make a couple adjustments and realize that they're a pretty free swinging team, and so if I made pitches just out of the zone or at the edge of the zone without nibbling and giving them free bases, then I would be all right. But yeah, in the first inning I just didn't make enough good pitches, and that's a really good offensive team, so they can hit mistakes, and they did in the first inning.
I'm assuming you told Coach you were ready to go for another inning?
Yeah. I felt fine. Could have thrown 130.
What a great college baseball game that was. 2 really good teams going toe-to-toe. Neither team backing down, neither team giving in. Just so proud of our guys to fight their way back down 3-0 against a really good pitching staff, and find a way to get it tied up, and just clutch at bats and clutch plays and clutch pitching on both sides. It was just and the fans were electric. Just a great college baseball environment, and that game right there is what college baseball is all about. And it's just really fun to be a small part of that.
Questions for Coach Walter?
Randy gave Dunshee credit for sort of pitching backwards after they jumped on some of the fastballs early. Is that sort of something you guys talk about? Does he make that own adjustment? How savvy is he versus how much of that is instruction?
Yeah, Coach Hobbs did a good job calling the game after that. As Park said in the first inning there, to be down 3-0 after 5 hitters and then get us through 7, with only in a 3-3 game or so that's pretty good pitching against that offensive club. They're a pretty hot team right now and swinging it good, and they've got some dangerous guys in the lineup. So, he started cross-counting his pitches. He started getting his changeup going. I thought that was a big key to the game, getting some soft contact. And again, once he did that, it just played his fastball up better and really changed the game for Parker.
What about Griffin, Coach? It seemed like, I know he's been electric all year long, but that slider was particularly vicious tonight. Was that as good as you've seen it?
That was, and actually his fastball was pretty good tonight. They did a good job. The first hitter of both innings did a good job on his fastball, but his fastball was pretty good too. It was down in the zone with some life, and again, give credit to West Virginia doing a good job on that fastball, and again, give credit to Coach Hobbs and Griff of making that adjustment and making sure if we're going to get beat, it's going to be on our best pitch, which for Griff is his slider. But Griff was really good. He comes out in that 8th inning in a tie game, lead off single, wild pitch on the next pitch. So we're 2 pitches in, and we got a man on second base with nobody out, and he falls behind that next hitter and ends up striking that guy out and striking the next guy out and getting us in the dugout in a huge situation there.
Oftentimes we talk after the game and you'll point to a bat that you consider like the bat of the game. That maybe sometimes is something I was looking at. Are there any such plate opportunities today that strike you? And obviously Bruce Steele's 2-run homer seemed big, but was there something else that struck you tonight?
Yeah, besides Bruce's 2-run homer, obviously the Jonathan Pryor 2-out double was huge. But Jake Mueller's walk, I thought that was a huge at-bat in that situation just because he was down 0-2, and what it did was extended that inning. Stewie ended up walking, and Gavin struck out, so it didn't result in a run, but in the 9th, we had the top of the order coming up. Benny comes up the next inning. He walks on 4 pitches. Keegan has the ball off the thumbs that falls in front of the shortstop. And again, Logan strikes out, but we start at the bottom of the 9th with Jonathan Pryor, who singled. So again, when you extend innings like that and have those clutch at-bats, it ran his pitch count up and then got us in the 9th with the right guys up.
Tom, were you trying to keep Gavin calm? Some of those at-bats, I saw you doing that. I didn't know if that was a signal for anything or just the universal.
No, that's universal right there. Again, we talk all the time about staying on your branch and just doing what you do. And, it's easy. These are kids. We have to remember that 18 to 22-year-old kids, and they can get caught up in the moment. They're not professionals. And so yeah, that's been the message really all weekend for us is just kind of stay within yourself and do what you've been doing all year, for sure.
Coach, the ball that wasn't called, what kind of explanation did you get from the umpire?
Well, just that they didn't see it. So, and it happens, and you got to battle through that stuff. Calls, sometimes you get a call, sometimes you don't. And, obviously it was a big situation. And I'll tell you what, third baseman made a heck of a play on that ball right out, on the block, to get an out there. That could have been the game right there if that ball gets through and we have first and second with nobody out. But, obviously West Virginia's a really good defensive team, and we saw that today.
With I think Pryor's 2-out double was extended after the foul call, and TV replay showed it might or might not have been him. Did you have I know that's a tough call for umpires to make. Yeah,
I thought live that it did hit him, just the way it spun. But again, so I don't know if it did or didn't, honestly. But live, I thought it was the right call. So again, I have not seen the replay, so I don't know if it did or didn't. But when it happened live, I was yelling foul ball from where I was too. So again, who knows?
Were you surprised at all, Coach, that they walked Fairchild with a righty in the mound to pitch, to left-handed hitter Sheets?
No, when you're walking somebody, you're not. It's not a choice between Fairchild and Sheets. It's a choice between 3 hitters. You have to pick 2 of 3. You know what I mean? And he made a decision that he wanted Brazil and Sheets as opposed to Fairchild and Brazil or Fairchild. You know what I mean? So again, it really boiled down to, okay, do I want Fairchild or Brazil? You know, is what he was deciding. And so again, when you're walking a guy, it's not as clear cut as, hey, I'm walking Fairchild to get the Sheets. You're looking at a 3-hitter span in that situation. So, and Gavin's a double play guy, and that pitcher had handled Gavin in the last at bat, and Stewie had singled off him in the last at bat. So again, you know, and you know, a lot of reasons to walk Stewie there.
When you have a crowd like this that's mixed and you get emotions going on, is that one of the games where momentum can play even a bigger role? Because it seemed like your team grabbed the momentum late in the game, and that might have pushed them over the edge.
We sure did. I thought from Bruce Steele's home run on, we had the momentum. You know, Parker was settling in. You could feel it in the dugout. When we were down 3-0, I think we were a little apprehensive and kind of getting in between on some pitches and you know, weren't playing our brand of baseball. But once Bruce homered, I think we took a collective sigh and really kept the momentum in our dugout the rest of the way. And give credit to Parker Dunshee. You know, he was the guy that was kind of leading that charge.
Did you think about sticking it back out for the 8th?
No, his pitch count was pretty high, and again, you know, when you're the home team in extra innings, the coin tip toss yesterday was as big as anything that happened today. And I was leaning heads, and Parker told me tails, so I went with Parker on that one, and he got it right. But you know, the coin toss was huge because when you get in that 8th inning there, it's 6 outs against 3. You know, we're coming up in the bottom of the 8th, and it's 6 versus 3, and that's such a huge advantage in a tight ball game.
Further questions for Coach Walter?
Who starts this Sunday? Is it Donnie?
Donnie Sellers, yes, sir. Yep, absolutely. We'll have all hands on deck, except for Parker and CJ.
Bullpen's pretty clean overall, right?
Bullpen's really clean. Colin Palouse, John McCarron, you know, Morgan McSweeney coming off throwing the ball well yesterday. You know, yeah, we've got a rested staff. That's why this game is so huge.
And Griffin only threw 22, so you could go back to him tomorrow if you need.
If we have the lead in the 8th inning, Griffin will get the ball.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
All right,
Thanks,
guys.